This is madness. It's COVID. You know, I'm just going to slow right down on this shit. Just confessionals. I'm not religious. I went to every church in my area when I was young. Tried to believe. Even had two ministers approach me. Not like that, thank God. It did happen to me as a child, but it was in a barber shop. It wasn't a priest or a minister or something. But Reverend Beasley is a beautiful man. I could almost become a Christian because of that one guy. He just emanated this peace all around him. He's a beautiful, beautiful man. But and then there was another minister who, oh, that's it. I knew there was no God because some local hoodlums went down to where Mr. Beasley was the caretaker in a youth camp, and they beat the shit out of him. So I thought, there's no God. They just beat up a beautiful spirit. There was another one that said, have you ever thought of becoming a minister? And I said, no. And I said, and he said, but you, whenever I ask questions about the Bible, you always answer. And I said, well, because I've been forced to go to Sunday school up until this age, say 12, 13, whenever this happened. And I said, well, you know, it was interesting to me because I've always been interested, like my generation were, the constant fear of nuclear annihilation. These young kids in their 50s have no concept of what terror it was for kids in the 50s. That's why in the 60s they all turned into hippies and dropouts, because I never went to uni. I could have, because I was convinced the world was going to be destroyed. And it could still happen, but the thing is, in those days, it was very, very, very real. And you were reminded of it constantly, even to the extent that we moved to Adelaide while my father helped provide the government transport for nuclear testing at Maralinga. They didn't ask the poor Aboriginals wandering around out there whether they liked it or not. Anyway, getting off track, confessional, yes. And he said, why don't you want to? I said, well, I'm sorry, Mr. I forget his name at the moment. I think it was Cowper, Mr. Cowper. He's a nice bloke too. I said, well, I just know the answers, and no one else puts their hand up. I said, I don't believe any of it. I said, I tried, and he said, it's all right, at least you tried. So I thought that was a very Christian thing of him to say to me. How did I get onto this shit? Oh, that's right, confessionals. Look, I got to confess, I made a comment on Stunty's Stunt Rock Confusion, latest video, and I said I had an IQ test and I got 129, which I did, and I got there 20 minutes late, so I missed quite a lot of it. So what the real IQ was, I don't know, but it's true. It's not a bull. It's and he said he was tested after he had an IQ test or something. They suspected he had dyslexia, which my nephew suffers from. But I should have said back, no, I suffer from something similar to dyslexia, Stunty. I suffer from DISHLICKER. Smells like fish. But oh, that's right. So anyway, I gave him high marks. I said, Stunty, I'll give you 158 IQ. I don't know if he's happy or not. So I think Rachel said something about, I don't know where she came up with Vagrant 100, but I was Vagrant 100 10 years ago. You know, Rob from Boston, you know, Derek Higgins or Derek Vaughan, as he was known then. A lot of the old crew aren't there. I never made videos, but I was quite active in sending things to people and making the occasional smart ass comment, but I never made videos because I didn't know how to. And so that I sort of dropped away from it because Derek just got way too political for me. When he first started out, it was great. It was all kraut rock and it was really good, but he just got this real bee in his bonnet about, got into the politics. There's no place for politics or religion in the VC as far as I'm concerned, because they're just two things you don't talk about in polite company. But then there's nothing much polite. And the last thing I wanted to say is, this is my confession, the confessions of a dish licker. The Erst thing. Yeah, look, you got to see Erst David Last Freeman. Well, David Freeman's boring as batshit name, for crying out loud. It's like a John Smith or Fred Brown, millions of the buggers out there. And it bores me shitless, I wanted to change my name to Garth or something when I was in my 20s. I wish I had. Garth Freeman. I like that. But no, the Erst is, I was tapping away, tippity tap and setting up this YouTube thing. And it said first name, last name. So I put, where it said first, I put David. And when it said last, I put Freeman. And then I hit enter or something. And bang, that was it. I thought, I didn't know how to undo it. So it's as simple as that. But I quite like it. Sounds dignified, I think. Anyway, that's enough confessing for today. Yeah, I think that's all. Take care all.